I mean, the best advice I ever got was to be myself. My dad told me, my mom told me, my grandparents, my uncles, my aunt, they said, be yourself. That my aunts, they said, be yourself. The hell with what everybody thinks. My beautiful wife reminds me of that on a daily basis. She reminds me of that on a daily basis. I will be that voice for the voiceless. For you men that are afraid to express how you feel, to say out loud what you are thinking, don't be afraid anymore. Don't be afraid anymore. To hell with it. Don't be afraid anymore. I'm giving you reason not to be. I'm giving you a reason not to be. If you don't believe anything else, believe that. Believe that. Men have been silenced for too long. Men have gone through a robotic pattern: get up, go to work, come home, take care of family, and in many ways be silent. My wife gets up, goes to work, come home, and we talk. Well, she has her period where she says, leave me alone for a little while because I've had a stressful day. But we communicate, we talk a lot. I'm thrilled to be in a situation like that, but there are many men that don't get that opportunity. And it ain't fair to them to not have any hope, to not have any chance of saying and expressing how they feel. Men, we have been silenced long enough. We have been silenced long enough. It's time. And if it sounds like a cliche rally cry, then so be it. But it's honestly time that our voices be heard. How we feel about different things. Start there. Let's just start there. How we feel about different things. Let's just start with the simplest of things. How we feel about certain subjects. You know why I love chatting with Dr. Faulkner, Charles Faulkner, BGS, and the fellows of the Manosphere? Because we have discussions and they are open. My buddy Jason Joseph, play by play with JJ, we're open with each other. All of my buddies that know me, that have known me, they're open with me. They give it to me straight. And of course, the one person in my life right now that always gives it to me straight is the woman I married. She flat told me one day 2 years ago, I think you've quit. When I was recovering from cancer surgery. When I was recovering from cancer surgery, she flat out told me, I believe that you've quit. And that turned the light on for me. Recently, with my my toe amputation, she flat told me, you're not healing well because you're not just using your heel. She basically said to me, quit being stubborn. I got to heal. I owe her 50 years. I owe her 50 years. I ain't giving that up. ever. I am not giving up that promise. I'm going to live out that promise. And I'm going to live out a promise every day that I be here in the manosphere for the men that need it, want it, desire it, want me to be there for them. Men have been silenced long enough. You're talking to a cancer survivor and you're talking to a fellow who you're talking to a fellow who not only survived cancer and blood clots, everything. I have been hit with things that should have taken me out. I have been hit with things that should have put me 6 feet under. But the belief of a woman and my family said, no, no, nope, you're not going out like a coward. My wife jokes with me a lot and she says, hurry up and become a millionaire or I'll kick your ass. But she knows I'm trying to get everything together. She knows that. She knows that. She teases me about it. But it's us. It's us being silly. Find that one thing. Men, find that one thing that makes you, you. Find that one thing that makes you who you are and what you are. Because we gotta stop being scared or scared into silence. Let me say it that way. More to the point, forced into silence. And believe me, we have been forced into silence for too long, way too long. And it's time that we quit that shit. Thank you, Jody, for that phrase. But you know, most difficult step for men, you know, the most difficult step, the first one. How do you break that? How do you break a pattern that has been set before you for the longest time and you've been told nothing but to follow it? You know how tough it is to break that pattern? Yeah, it's hellified tough to break that pattern. But you know the best part about it? You keep trying until you break that son of a bitch. You keep trying until you break that son of a bitch. Play by play with JJ and Keel Bonner. Welcome in. Men have been silenced long enough. And I'm allowed to say this real, too goddamn long. Too long. It's time we fight back with our voices. It's time we fight back. It's time we fight back, man. And if we don't, we're going to continue to be the robots that people make us out to be. Period. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of experiencing it. I'm just plain tired. I'm tired of seeing men pushed, shoved, backed into silence. I'm tired of that, man. I'm absolutely bone tired. And it ain't fair. It ain't fair. And we're not taking this. What's the song? We're not going to take it anymore. We're not taking this anymore. The men are fighting back, need to fight back, must fight back. Reclaim our place, but do it respectfully. I've seen and heard men be so ridiculed. Dear God, I'm one of them. Those of us that work hard every day, those of us that just those of us that get up, put our big boy pants on, and go to work every day, no matter what you do. No matter what you do, you go to work every day. I sit in front of this microphone and I talk shit about sports and bring entertainment to a lot of people. And those that tune in, the faithful few, thank you, Charles Faulkner, for that phrase. Sorry. The faithful few that keep coming and listening to my content and my friends' content and everybody that hmm, that's just there for them. That's just there for me. I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of my cancer surgery. April 4th. It's this Thursday. Y'all best believe I'm doing a celebration stream. A year plus free of pancreatic cancer. You know how wonderful that is? I am one of the few that can say I kicked cancer's ass. I may not be in the booth this coming season at live events. Hell, that's still up in the air with my healing procedure and process, and I understand that. But I have this microphone in front of me. I have this studio that I have when that I'm in the process of like making better here in the front room, helping my wife get her area straight. The toughest step to take is the first one. But when you take that first one, the next one follows, and the next one after that, and the next one after that. You know, JJ came to me and said, I need you to sit in for me for today's game with Atlanta and Philadelphia. There was a part of me that wanted to say no, but the biggest part of me that loves baseball said, bring it on. And that's that. And that's that. We got her done. And we got another one Tuesday. I'm coming up on the anniversary. Like I said, I'm coming up on the anniversary of my cancer surgery 2 years ago. I can't believe it's been 2 years. Time has flown by, absolutely flown by. And time is going to continue to fly by. But I'm not going to let it pass me. I can't let it pass me. I was thinking about this on the drive home tonight, which is why I delayed the start of this. I had planned to do it at 8 o'clock tonight, earlier tonight, but I had to get some rest before I took Sonya to work. And I love daddy duty. This is what a lot of men don't understand, but they will understand when I explain it to them. I love daddy duty, and I know my daughter can't drive right now, but you know what? I don't mind hopping in my car and taking her to and from. I don't mind one bit. I don't mind one bit. She's my daughter. RC, why is your head down, man? But I'm not, I ain't quitting at all. I'm not quitting. And men, I don't want y'all to quit either. This is why I started doing this. That's why I started doing this diary. It's a journey into discovery for me, and it's a journey into discovery for some people that have left me some great comments so far. This just might turn into a daily diary after all. It's just the timing that I have to figure out. And you're right, RC. It is a tough go being a man day in and day out. It's a tough go. How rough is it being a man? Let me count the ways. Let me count the ways that it's tough being a man. Let me count the ways that we have to hold on for dear life. Present for you, RC. I've just noticed that we are more on the lines of being accepted and forced in on some occasions to silence ourselves. We got to keep pushing through. You're right, RC. We got to keep pushing through no matter what. And you're welcome. We got to keep pushing through no matter what happens, no matter what's going on. Because if we don't, then a man goes away and doesn't come back. I will begin to be that voice for the voiceless. I will begin to be that one that people can turn to and listen to and get some positive vibes. And as I continue to share stories of me from the past and all the hell that I've been through, I want to encourage the men that are here tonight. Don't ever give up. Ever. RC, that's what I'm doing with this diary. I've kept a whole lot to myself in 50 plus years. Now it's all coming out. You want to know, besides Charles Faulkner, you know who encouraged this? Two very special people, my daughter and my wife. I can honestly say I pour a lot of my heart and soul into my play by play duties. It masks, or I can use the past term now that I'm doing this diary, it masked a lot of the pain that I was holding in. Losing my dad, losing my daughter, being told I'm not accepted in the family without being told I'm not accepted in the family. Who's been through that? I have. Having your love for your wife thrown in your face. having the relationship I have with my wife, which is open and honest and fun and funny and humorous and everything. The silliness defines who we are. And yet we're being silenced. I was flat out told I was flat out told for me to get disability, I'd have to divorce my wife. And my fist stopped right at his face. I am a married man, a proud husband, a proud papa, and a proud grandpapa who is finally letting out so many things that I have held in for years. Years. Not anymore. That's why the subtitle was A Journey into Discovery. And what I'm doing with I've relaunched Diary of a Mad Snowman, and I'm glad I did. Not only is this an audio diary, it's going to be an audio podcast. I'm going to make this available on iHeart. I'm going to make this available on Odyssey. I'm going to make this available on Spotify because there are men out there that I need to reach. I know that now. I know that now. There are men that I need to reach. There are men that are seeking help but don't know how to seek help out loud. I was one of them. I was one of the men that was so pushed into silence. I was one of the men that was so pushed into silence, and I wanted to get help, but I didn't know how to ask for it. And I will tell y'all something. Before I got married, before Jody and I got married, she required one thing of me, and that's to see a therapist. She made that requirement very clear because she recognized that I had been through a ton and hadn't had a chance to get it all out. Well, I'm using this as part of my therapy. My play by play, you damn well believe that's going to be part of my therapy. We can't give up. There are two extremes that men are going through right now. One, there are people that are depending on us. And two, there are people that are depending on us to quit. To hell with the second option. There are people, and y'all know it, the men that are here, you know it, that are waiting on us to quit. They're waiting on us to quit. You know why? Because they're waiting on us to also become a statistic. I said it. I said it. And I mean every word of it. I mean every word of it. Fighting the good fight, which is what I titled this particular chapter. And there are going to be several parts to it. You heard the first one already. I don't want y'all to give up. I don't want anybody that I've reached out to or is being reached out to within the sound of my voice to ever give up. But I also desire for men not to be silent anymore. I desire the silence to be broken, and broken in a way, not in a violent way, but in a way that leaves a solid impact. You know why therapy is not discussed in the Black community? I will, you know what, RC? Let me read RC's comment. Therapy should be more discussed in the Black community. Every day, some Black brother or sister is headed off the edge because they won't let their steam out constructively. You are absolutely correct. There are no lies detected in that statement. On the flip side of that coin, you know why therapy is not discussed in the Black community more? It's pretty simple: fear of ridicule. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. When I started talking, burnt the some bitch when I got done with it. It's accepting. And I mean this in a very general standpoint, but I gotta speak the truth. It's very accepting when women go through hell and they go to therapy and they get repaired. It ain't accepted when it happens to a man. Why? Because we are dependent on to be the backbone, the workers, the worker bees of society. We can't have a bad day. Like I talked about before, we cannot have a bad day, which is unfair, which is stupid. Because what if we do have a bad day? What if we do have a bad day? Oh, brother. You don't y'all don't want an answer to that if we do have a bad day. If we ever said out loud that we have a bad day, do you know how much negativity would happen if we spoke that sentence aloud? I'm here to tell y'all, fuck that noise. Oh, Falling Down was the movie I watched when I was descending into madness. I watched that movie several times, especially in 2017 when I was going through hell in a handbasket. The descent into madness is what society is waiting on. More to the point, and I know RC is going to give me a high five on this, the descent by Black men into madness is what Black society is waiting on. Let me say that again for those of you in the cheap seats at the old Spectrum in Philadelphia. In the Black community, whatever the hell that is, a Black man's descent into madness is being waited on. Because in the Black community, if a man has emotion, he's labeled as very soft. If y'all like what you hear, do me a favor and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also help a snowman with his family with a Cash App donation, please. I'm trying to help my wife get gas for her vehicle and groceries for the house. But it gets tiring after a while when you're told to be one way and there's a part of you saying the other. Everyone else can say that Black men are ticking time bombs if we just get to the point where we just snap off. How about the fact that we were pushed and shoved and punched and kicked to a point where we descend into madness because we simply cannot help it. Here's the kicker. No one will be around to help unless we help ourselves. Some men I know got very lucky with the mates that they have. I am one who got very lucky when Jody raced the clock and saved my life 3 separate times. And you're right, Victor. It's black women that push the hardest. And you know the crazy part about it? They're still pushing the hardest. They're going to push the hardest. They don't know any other way. Compassion, what the hell is that? Empathy, what the hell is that? I'll tell you what empathy is. It's what I want to show tonight to all the men that are tuning in. RC says, I recently said it's time to go back to therapy because every other day I felt like maybe I shouldn't. Well, I'll just say, do I really deserve to be here, Lord? Snow, you ever been down there? Many times. I've been there many times. I want to take it as a cry for help. We know it's a cry for help. What if no one answers? Keep asking those honest questions, JJ. And I want to encourage the men to do this in a constructive way. Whatever you're feeling, say it. This is my constructive way using the weapon that I have before me. That's a microphone. As I'm trying to heal and trying to walk again so I can get out of this wheelchair and get back to work and get back to doing games live. But folks, this is like I said with the original title, this is a journey into discovery. And there's a lot that I'm discovering right now about me, about how I'm doing this and why I'm doing this. When I started to answer the question of why I'm doing this, I knew I was onto something. Because I kept saying, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I never answered the question of why. I never, until now, until recently. And JJ, don't rush. Please take your time. Take it from someone who's been there. Take your time. Take your time and be inquisitive. Take your time and be inquisitive, man. Find out everything you need to know. If it doesn't sit well with your heart, don't do it. If it doesn't sit well with your heart, don't do it. What good would it be for you if you did? What good would it do if you did, man? Like I did with the very first chapter on the reboot, Can a Man Ever Have a Bad Day? No, but we have them. But we have them. We have a lot of them. Back to back to back to back to back. Constructively getting out your anger, constructively getting out your feelings. And I do say constructively because the last thing I want men to do is to complete the picture that's being painted for us. And that picture is that we are ticking time bombs. And the moment we get pushed to a point of no return and we explode, everything negative happens after that. And you're right, RC. Sometimes people think that because we talk sports, they forget that we're real people with real feelings. You're right. You're absolutely right. And those of us who are close to each other and know each other, we know when the other's not doing well. I mean, hell, I got 15 minutes into a show after I brought my daughter home and I couldn't complete it because I was just that exhausted. You get that ex- you get that exhausted. And you're right, JJ. It does get toxic and you do have to step away. I had to do it. I had to do it. And I love sports. That's what Jody and I do, RC. We go and breathe. We take a deep breath. We both like watch TV or I watch sports or something, and then we come together and talk constructively. As I said, constructively, and I capitalize and underline that word constructively. Get your feelings out. You know why I don't stream on Facebook anymore? What JJ just said. It's toxic. It's toxic, and people don't want to see you. People don't. Hold on a minute. You know why I don't stream on Facebook anymore? Because it's toxic as hell. People don't take your feelings into account. And they just think, well, here's another one that thinks he can manage a sports show. Happy Easter, Sick Diggy. That's why I don't stream on Facebook anymore. I barely stream on Twitter as it is. I want to stream on YouTube and have an audience come there. I'm working at it. People get toxic on social media for the stupidest things. And what happens? A man has the finger pointed at him. There's also absolutely little to no empathy on social media. Ain't that the truth? Someone actually said to Someone actually said to me when they found out I had cancer that it was karma. And they also backed it up by saying that he didn't believe that I had cancer. I think it pissed him off that I'm still here, that I'm fighting. And I'm going down fighting. I'm going down fighting. If I go down, I go down swinging. Not a excuse me. I'm not afraid to do this anymore. I am not afraid. I'm no longer afraid. I have no reason to be afraid. No reason whatsoever. I will admit that I do have my days. But you know what, doggone it? The good ones have outweighed the bad ones in the last 5 years. The good ones have outweighed the bad ones. Let the good ones outweigh the bad ones, ladies and gentlemen. Let the good days outweigh the bad days, folks. Gentlemen, I'm here for you. Period. I will continue to be here for you. Let me be that beacon for you. How do you have that tough talk? Be honest. Be honest. Say it real. The things we hide when people beat us down. Ain't that the truth? I had a friend say to me, I know you've hit rock bottom after I'm dealing with the loss of my daughter. And I went completely off. Somebody could say something to you and you just go crazy. That happened to me in 2017. But it's time for men to not be silent anymore. It's time for men to let their voices be heard. This has been Diary of a Mad Snowman, a journey into discovery. Chapter 2, Fighting the Good Fight. Part 2, The Silencing of Men. I'll have another one tomorrow night. Advocate for yourselves, man. Constructively get your feelings out. And let's show each other. Fuck society. Let's show each other that we can do this. Good night, y'all.